Fuck, what a terrible intro. Hi guys, welcome back to the
Hey,
podcast. I'm Jorge.
I'm Carlos. What's
And that
going
was
on?
we are currently being fucking inundated.
Yes, we are. I can't stand the rain.
Against my window.
Window.
Yeah.
Man. It's been like crazy lightning. My dogs are scared. It doesn't stop. It's been raining since like Sunday morning and it just won't stop. And it's Tuesday, 9 p.m. and the rain has stopped, but the lightning is like right next to my window.
Geek, geek.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you can stand the rain. You have said on this podcast that you love the rain.
Yes.
And rainy days and like that.
I do.
You know, like just
Seattle.
that.
Yeah.
So you've been in your element.
Yeah, but it's ruined when you step outside and it's humid and muggy and the thing is it rains so much at a time that it's like the puddles and it's just like so inconvenient.
Yeah, you know? I stepped into 3 inches of water and all of my my shoes, my socks, my toes, everything's soaked wet. I was like, oh well, that was a wrap on that.
Oh yeah, and outside of my building, everything gets inundated. Like I have to walk through the grass and tiptoe on the grass. And mind you, we have neighbors that have their dogs poop there and don't pick up the poop, so I have to like step around, and I have to like make sure, and that's how I get to my car.
Huh? So
because the sidewalk gets like
the poop doesn't float.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, no, just becomes soupy.
Yeah, that sounds fucking terrible.
It is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, but I still love living here, so it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, like we've had. You know what's really fucking funny? It's the idea that our governing officials have decided that in the state of Florida and within our county and stuff, there's services that were not deemed essential can now begin to start to reopen. And so there's like these different phases that are being rolled out, and we're like in whatever one that we're in. And so some of the people that were closed and couldn't do things are now like reopened. Like we can go like get our haircuts, and I know that restaurants are open and stuff like that and whatever. And so there's like so of course it's the inevitable, like inevitably there's going to be that person that just says everything's open, like we're open. The lockdown's over, quarantine's over, like we're reopen. And so the irony is that there's been fucking 3 days of deluvio.
Yeah.
Making it impossible to go anywhere.
Yeah. It's like Mother Nature's like, wait a minute. I just got cleaned up. You're staying your ass home.
You're going to keep your ass
You are staying your ass home.
Oh, it's a 3-day weekend? Oh, guess what? It doesn't matter. It's been a week. It's been 90-day weekend, basically. Yeah. So just consider this.
You want to go to the beach, you say? Okay. Bam.
Oh, you want to have a barbecue party in your backyard? No.
Bam. Torrential downpour. Absolutely.
Downpour.
Dude, it's incredible. But I have to say, it's already happening. What we talked about 2 episodes ago, what we've been saying, it's at least here in Miami,
Remind me what we talked about 2 episodes ago.
Well, no, the part of that some Miamians are just going to be like, oh, we've decided that this is done. We've decided that this is over. People are on their stories. There's a new saying that normal is the new normal. So there's people going around saying that.
I'm so glad I have not seen that, because that would make me want to throw my phone at somebody.
Yeah. Normal is the new normal. And, the whole, and look, there's a 99.4 or 99.5% survival rate of this thing, right?
Yes.
So, okay. And so this is what we were talking. So 2 episodes ago, I was saying, it's going to become the battle of the you know, oh, well, you know what? I'll take my chances and not wear a mask. And it's like, okay, great for you, but this is not about you, right? It's about other people and being considerate with other people's anxiety and other people's fears and other people who might have, you know, immune, you know, issues and or already pre-existing conditions that might make them more susceptible. So understand that. I think it's really cool that you think that this is all a big hoax and normal's the new normal and nothing should change. And that's great for you. You know, just, it doesn't mean that we wipe our ass with how other people feel. And that's what I was saying a couple weeks ago. I was like, now is where the battle is going to begin. There was a post on Instagram where this one person was walking around Target without a mask, and the people, like 7 or 8 people, just gathered around this person, started yelling at her, like not just like, not talking, not like it's, I mean, the video is like, get the fuck out of here, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid bitch. You know, like, I mean,
maybe she is a stupid bitch, but I don't think she deserves to get talked at like that.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that some Targets are not requiring masks.
Okay, well, that's a different issue altogether,
right? Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. Like, that's like
I thought this was the no mask Target.
I didn't realize exactly
the mask. Target.
Yeah,
it's my fault. I went the wrong one. I just
right. I came to the Gestapo Target.
Ooh, I came to the
yeah. So
it is. I saw this also on social media, and I thought it was interesting. And it wasn't pro or con either one. It was just like a kind of like a call to action for fucking humanity to like not get caught up in what's becoming a culture war or like a politicization.
Yeah,
people
like
making something out of something that shouldn't be something. You know, like in the media, and I understand it from like a teenage point of view. When there is a rule to be had, a need to break that rule, right?
Exactly.
I get how that, I mean, I live that in my head. And I also like, I think about like, have you ever, I mean, you know what it's like because you're a parent. Like there's like, you have a ton of information that you know for a fact to be true. And like, you've got kids who are like asking like, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And maybe not so much anymore because they have like, you know, computers at their fingertips so they can look up for themselves. But for a long time, like they got most of their 411 through you. Yeah. And like, when I think about decisions that have to be made and the ability to like access information through other places because of my position at my office and like my responsibility to communicate that, like sometimes you need to get all of the information as more of it before you just start talking out of your ass. Because if you start to like say things that you don't know, but you just like kind of hear along the way, that's a little irresponsible.
Right.
Because people are trying to like make decisions without like the whole story. And so I'm getting to this point because there are like very clearly divided lines in this country as to like basically almost either you believe that things are great and everything's a fucking hoax and or people are overreacting, or you think that this is terrible and that the decision to not do it your way is the wrong way and you're gonna sit on your high horse and or lock yourself away forever until whenever you decide it's okay to go outside, which is very similar to the other person who's like, I'm deciding that it's okay for me to go now, fuck everybody. It's that same like I'm going to do what I want to do. And then I'm going to chastise the other person who is basically like the same side of it's like the opposite side of the same coin. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
There's like no leniency. There's no like there's no thought process or critical thinking or like taking time to like mull things over and then come to a decision and then like being consistent in that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know that like I understand the concept of the mask. It's the have you seen the urine one?
Yes, it's great. That is the best way to explain it.
So great.
It's so great. Yes.
So great. And so with that, like, I get it. Like, I don't do it because I feel like I'm afraid I'm going to get it. I do it because I'm afraid that if I did get it, I would pass it on to like my mother-in-law. And that would put her in harm's way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And so like, I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want to have to go through all that. And so I'm keeping somebody else safe.
Yeah. I mean, I got booked for a gig on Friday.
Uh-huh.
And you know, and it's just added layers of thinking. It doesn't have to be super overanalyzed. I'm obviously I sing, I'm the singer, and naturally when I'm singing live, I do spit. I mean, people spit when they're talking regularly. Imagine when you're singing, you know, balls to the wall for 3 hours, you know what I mean? Naturally, spit is going to come out. So yes, I'm going to be conscientious of that. Yes, I'm going to make sure that anybody who's front row, mind you, I'm playing at a brewery, but whoever's like the closest to me, I'm going to make sure that they're not 6 feet away, that they're like 10 feet away, you know, and I'm going to tell them why. And be like, hey, and then.
But is that your? I mean, that's not your responsibility, is it?
I
mean, shouldn't they have you in a spot where like they're gonna keep everyone like they should keep like marked off, like
yeah, they're gonna do that. Yeah, they're definitely gonna do that. But you know, people start drinking, and people start like, oh, what's this line? I don't care.
Hey.
You know,
but then they'll start doing the stupid thing where like, oh, I'm gonna step an inch over the line. Oh, I'm 6 feet, I'm 5 feet and 11 inches away from you. Is that okay?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to, and it's just an added layer of thinking, just being conscientious and just, you know, being like, okay, and if somebody like decides to walk right in front of me, which people do all the time, you know, it's like, okay, let me, you know, try to not, you know, spit at this moment.
You have to get one of those like really articulated songs, which I can't think of right now. Just be like,
I know. There's like, and it's funny because there's always those two sides, like those people that purposely like walk like inches away from you, like, oh, I'm gonna pretend there's no band here. The band is not important. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like that side of me. It's like, if you do that, like you deserve to be spit on. You know, if you're that type of person, maybe I should purposely like do like the song with all the P's in it, you know, and just, you know, and I'm not going to stoop down to that level. I'm just going to be careful. I'm going to try to be very, very conscientious and very responsible. And that is, I have decided what my tolerance for risk is.
Sure.
You know, and that's going to be the decision that people are going to have to, you know, they're going to have to assess what their tolerance for risk is.
How did you arrive to that decision? Like, what questions did you ask yourself? Like, what was your process for the assessment? Do you do a similar one for every situation? Is it like a quick, like on the go, do like a quick like analysis? Like, what do you said that you have done this. So my question to you is like, how did you do it?
How did I do it? I just pretty much pictured myself there. You know, I'm going to be 6 feet away from my bandmates because we always are anyway. And I don't have to interact with anybody. I'm the entertainment for the night. I don't have to be around. I don't have to, you know, like, you know, if I want a beer, somebody will bring me a beer, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be in it. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty safe. I walk in and out, obviously, with my face mask on, have my face mask on until it's time to start singing. And then when I'm done or during my breaks, you know, I'll put it back on, or, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, you know. But that's how I envisioned it. So I was like, I'm willing to take that risk. Now, if you invited me to a party with 50 people and we couldn't be 6 feet apart, then I'd be like, okay, I'm not willing to go down that route. You know, but if it's something contained like that, then I'm cool with it.
You feel like a brewery is more contained than a house party?
I feel that my positioning in the brewery is more contained than a house party.
Okay.
You see, because I have a special space that nobody goes into.
Is there, you know? So are you, I guess, I mean, it's inevitable that this is going to happen. I'm going to just keep throwing situations and asking, well, if not this and that, like a dinner party.
Dinner party? Oh yeah, I would totally go to like a small dinner party. Like what, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people? Yes.
Let's say 10, no more than 10.
No, yeah, definitely.
Somewhere that was decided.
Yeah. I would say 10 people. I'm totally down for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially if you know the people well enough where, you know, you both had an equal amount of commitment to the quarantine, where you've both been equally isolated, you know, then, I mean, obviously, you know, and not to put them down, I hate to sound like an asshole, but like if it's somebody who's been more exposed, like a nurse or a doctor that works in the hospital, and they're like, hey, you want to come over for dinner? I'll be like, thank you for everything you do, but I think I'm going to hold off, you know,
really?
for now. Yeah. You know, well, I mean, naturally, I mean, you know, I mean, that's, you know, they're very, very, very exposed, you know, and yeah, I mean, does that make me an asshole?
I bet you if I was a doctor treating patients and I had like not got it, and I probably feel like I have access to understanding of whether and knowing that I do or I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited you over and I'm like, listen, I'm tested, I'm COVID negative, I'm not just asymptomatic, I know I don't have it, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's
You're
cool.
come
Yeah.
over. Yes. Then I feel like in the Venn diagram of life, like there's enough cross sections that you would know that even though maybe I'm out here saving lives, you're welcome. Not that I am, but in this scenario, and then you still were like, no.
That would be dick move.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. Someone would put that on you, and I'd be like, yeah.
No, I'm totally with you on that. I take it back. I mean, I would say that they would know. You're right. Somebody who's in that field would be of the intellectual mindset to kind of know. Yeah. No. Oh, no. I'm not about that.
No. Listen, I get it. What I think it's just.
I just didn't consider that point.
You said something about like trusting people that I think is interesting because that it really boils down to that, right? Like, like this idea of like people that you consider to be trustworthy, and you think that because for whatever reason, like maybe you take their word because I mean, we're not interrogating each other, right? We're not like, listen, so it's been 10 weeks of quarantine. What have you done for those last 10 weeks? I'm considering having a get together, and I just need to know like where you're at.
Yeah, like, can you please send me your trace marks? Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and send you a Google Calendar. Can you just put where you were on each day for the last 12 weeks? It's gotta be great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You know, I did Murph yesterday at our friend Chip's house.
I saw.
Yeah. That was like, it was really cool. Obviously great to see him. I didn't go inside the house because they have a newborn. So that was, for me, they didn't even have to say anything. I told them, I'm like, I'm not going in your house, by the way. And they were like, that's cool because we weren't going to let you in anyway. Right. You know, and it was like kind of like an understood thing, which I thought was very cool. It didn't have to be spoken about. Again, they have a newborn and there's no way I'm messing with that. So just went straight to the backyard, did our thing. And then at the end, when we were done, you know, Chip goes, you know, air high five, but I didn't hear air high five. I just heard high five. So I just went, oh, are we doing this? And he was like, no. He's like, I said air high five. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So we did like a little geeky kind of air high five. And then it was like, all right, this is life. This is what it is for now.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, that, but going back to what you were saying, yeah, I mean, that's, you can't be like, hey, you know, where have you been? How have you quarantined? Let's see if you qualify to come to my party. Right? We can't, it's not going to happen, right? We can't do that.
No. And there is, I mean, it all really, I guess like everyone has their own like threshold for the amount of risk they're willing to take. Right. But I also think that not everyone's always like super aware of that in the moment.
Yeah.
And so we're just so conditioned to be kind and to be nice.
Yeah.
For that to be and polite. That's a really hard barrier to get past. Right. You know, like the need to not be thought of as a dick, like you said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and things like that are going to happen. I mean, you know, I don't I don't necessarily take back what I said earlier, because there's going to be people like that. There's going to be people like, I love you. I'm so happy for everything that you do, and you're out there saving lives. But because of the nature of your work, I don't think I'm ready to go see you.
Do you think you would have a higher threshold of risk or like engage in riskier behavior if you were a single person?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, naturally.
I'd be out and about.
Yeah.
Just be out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd be like, if I get sick, I get sick. I'm in my own little house. I get sick by myself, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, and I think there's a lot of people. There's so many people in our circle that probably have gotten it or have it, and and they don't know because they were just asymptomatic, and that's just, dude, that's what makes the whole thing like really, just you could have been quarantined for 3 months, and you go out. The first person you encounter is somebody who, is just asymptomatic. And I don't know, man, it's just, how much risk are you willing to take? If there's the way I see it, and I'm not a medical professional, please don't listen to me. It's just my logic for myself. But as somebody who is, for the most part, eats good, nutritious food, has been working out for many, many years. I have no, pre-existing conditions. I have no immunodeficiencies. I'm just very thankfully strong, somewhat young, not 25, but somewhat young, right? And I just, I mean, I say, okay, well, I can take a little bit more chances and go out there while still being safe and protecting others by wearing a face mask and stuff like that, and constantly washing my hands. But I can limit myself a little bit less. Right. That's a big part of it too.
Okay, let's see. We'll do like a flash round. Will you go out to a restaurant and eat inside?
Yes.
Will you go to a park?
Yes.
Will you? Huh?
Will you go to a restaurant in a park?
Yes, yes. Okay. Will you go to the beaches when they reopen?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else that I would. Oh, would you go to a nightclub?
No. I'd go to a bar or something that's more contained, where it's not like, I think that a nightclub is a lot harder to contain. You get DJ there and you let 100 people in. That's a little scary.
Would you pay extra money for a 6-foot square foot dance area?
Oh, that's so lame. No, I wouldn't. I'd rather not go.
Would you rather go to a Zoom party or go to a socially distanced, safe nightclub dance party?
Zoom party.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a glass, like a plexiglass box.
Really?
Yeah. Just.
I'd have to like really reframe my thoughts there, because like the way I look at it is like, you're there with other people, but you're not. And it's like, oh my gosh, so close, but yet so far.
Have you seen the pictures of like how Italy was planning on reopening their beaches by creating these like plexiglass, like suntan boxes?
No way.
It was really crazy. And it was just like a passing, like little, like one designer's idea for how to do this. Right. And it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh no. I think that's yeah, there's certain, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just very.
Oh, would you get on a boat with 9 other people?
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to have them in your house, why not? Why can't you be on a boat?
Well, okay. So I don't like boats to begin with.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, I love going on a wave runner. I love more like.
Swim?
I can swim.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, but I mean, just, I don't know. Never been comfortable on boats. I don't know why. I don't have like a legitimate explanation. I didn't go through a bad experience, like nothing like that. I just, ever since I was a kid, I just never liked being on a boat. So a wave runner, yes, one that I'm like riding and stuff, and it's like easier to maneuver and things like that. But so my answer to that would be no. It's an easy no for me, because I'd probably say no anyway.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We see boats, like people have like their boats dry docked in their backyards around our neighborhood. And like before the fucking rain started, they were like people were just going out because the docks reopened and people were able to get their boats out. And I was like, oh, it would be so nice to go out on a boat. It's such a nice day into the middle of the ocean and just like jump off the boat and swim in the ocean and yeah,
man. So how about this? Miami, for those of you are out of town listeners, Miami is a very touchy-feely hug, kiss on cheek for every hello culture. So now what happens? What becomes the protocol now?
There is no protocol. People will go right back.
Greetings.
You watch. People will go right back to that.
Okay. So based on what I was saying earlier, I agree with you. That's what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. But that being said, and let's just assume that we're wrong, right? Then how do you redesign this now? Like, what do? You ask for permission. You ask, is this okay? Hey, can I hug you? Hey, can I give you a kiss? Hey, can I give you a handshake? Hey, is this okay? Is that okay? Or instead of asking, we just accept that it's just, you're getting a wave for now.
My response to you is not going to be as simple as you think, because I'll tell you this much. It's going to be, I don't think I'm interested in reprogramming that part of my brain.
Okay. Well said.
So I don't. And I'm also like, I consider myself pretty like socially aware in situations. And so I think I'm pretty good at reading cues, right? And so I will like go in for a fist bump, but if the person's just like that, I'm like, okay, so you're not that person. Or I'll like I'll give the impression that I'm okay with this.
Right.
You are. And if they're not, they're not. And if they are, they are. And if some people want to like talk about it beforehand, then they do and they don't. Professionally speaking, I find that if you keep your hands in your pockets, you kind of get away with it a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'll just I can keep my hands in my pocket if I'm in a situation where I don't know, like I don't know somebody, or I'm not aware. I just like keep my hands in my pockets and like, yes, nod my head, hello, find other like non-verbal ways to communicate, a friendly gesture without like going for a handshake, kiss on the cheek. I noticed that it's hard. I noticed that, and I know how this is going to sound, but when you have did we talk about this last week with the face mask thing? People don't see you smile. And I use a smile. I use my smile as a way to disarm people very quickly.
Yeah. You did talk about this. You're like frustrated. You're like, I have this great smile and I'm not going to hide it.
You can't tell, like I'm really smiling and like, oh, hi, how you doing? You really can't tell. There's no way you would not know.
Man. Oh, I have to tell you. So I took Matthew, my youngest son, to get a haircut.
Yes.
Okay. And so he gets his haircut, and the barber at the end of it says, hey, awesome. All right. Are you happy with the haircut? Yeah. And then he tries to give him a fist bump. And Matthew goes, no, sorry. And walks away. And that is like the question. Like, so my initial reaction as a parent is, oh my gosh, that was so rude. But it wasn't. Right? I mean,
he's establishing his boundaries and he's communicating those boundaries.
Right. But he did technically, based on everything we're being told, technically he did the right thing.
Yeah. I'm more proud of the fact that he was able to make a decision and not like give in to the pressure of an adult making him want to do something. Because my dumb ass would have like pounced right back.
Oh, exactly. Me too. And then been like, hey, Dad, I kind of did that.
Or I would have been like, can I get some fan sanitizer real quick?
Really, I was proud of him in that sense, that he's able to establish those boundaries and be okay with it and walk away without feeling any type of way. And I did find that pretty incredible for his age, but still, like, it goes back to what we're talking about. Like, now in a world where it's like, oh my gosh, that was so rude. Why did you say that to him? Now it's like, Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, you know what we're doing now? Now we're all holding our breath to see if these, like, if easing of these restrictions has, like, a seeing what kind of impact it does have, right? Like, will the numbers spike? Will the healthcare resources become overburdened like we didn't want them to do in the first place, which is why we started this whole thing? Because the whole reason for all of this in the beginning was, was to flatten the curve so that we do not exceed the resources of the healthcare system.
Exactly.
That was literally the fucking point, which people forget. Like,
people have forgotten.
People have forgotten that was the express, like, point of that. At least that's what I have. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't want to have this because it's gonna spike. There's not enough resources, and then
not enough ventilators,
and then it's gonna be a real fucking crisis, and people will go fucking crazy, and it's gonna be like, have you ever seen the movie Contagion with Matt Damon?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Okay, so I watched it years ago, and I could have sworn that David had seen it with me. And so recently he wanted to watch it again. I was like, babe, we've seen this movie. He's like, I've never seen this movie. I was like, we have 100% seen this movie. I have seen it, which means I saw it, and I probably saw it on a fucking plane with him somewhere, and he watched some other shit. But, like, I remember that movie, and watching it again, I was like, holy shit, it could really go like that. It's definitely Hollywood, and it's definitely, like, dramatized,
Yeah, over the top.
But it's not that over the top.
Right.
It's not like, there was moments where I found myself, like, holding my breath while we were going through what we've been going through these last, I don't know how many weeks now. And watching the movie, it kind of reminded me of some of those moments where I felt like I was holding my breath. And I was like, the breath was being held for like a long time is what I felt like. The clenching, the anxiety, like the tension that I couldn't release because I felt like I needed to be on guard, not just for the office or for the coworkers or the people that are responsible there, but also for my family. And like lack of resources and people like, running and, what do they call it? Fucking like ransacking pharmacies for medication.
Right.
And this and that. And are you there? Did I lose you?
No. Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, no. So like, there's like moments in the movie where like people are like losing their shit and like beating each other up and food shortages, and it's like a terrible. And I'm just like watching it again. I was like, oh yeah, thank God we didn't have to go through all that. I mean, it was rough.
In the sense that toilet paper.
Did you run out?
No. I was so lucky. My downstairs neighbor, when this whole thing started, he had bought like cases of them, and like he pulled up one day and he wrapped his face in toilet paper, and he's like, look at my face mask, bro. And I'm like, don't waste the toilet paper. He's like, I got a bunch. I'm like, oh, that's cool, I haven't gotten it. And he's like, here's a case. And the case he gave us lasted us throughout the whole quarantine.
Nice.
Yeah.
The day we got the day that Donald Trump like went on the national fucking news at like whatever time, I was like, it was like Twitter released that the president was going to make a national address from the Oval Office, and there had been no address yet. So I was like, David, I'm going to go to Publix. He's like, why? I'm like, because the president of the United States is about to get in the Oval Office and talk to the country about something. And we are all waiting to hear what's going to happen. So people are like, there's people who are not acting, and there's people who are going to like go nuts. So before that happens, I am going to just go to Publix and just like pick up on some like doomsday essentials. And I was literally the doomsday shopper. And I didn't like buy all of the toilet paper on the stands because it didn't fit in the public shopping cart. But I definitely bought a shopping cart worth of stuff. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I got my rolls. I think there was like 8 packs of rolls. And I was
my God.
And I was just like, I was walking around. I had my headphones in with music blaring, so I wouldn't hear. I was like, you can't. I can't hear you, which means that you can't see me. I'm basically. And everyone's in Publix, like just buying their little things here, and I'm like buying the 10-pound bag of rice, a case of water, toilet paper. Okay, we had to buy it anyways. Like we were short. Thank God I did, because we ended up needing. And we didn't run out, but
that's amazing, man. No, and now we have.
And the next day there was nothing anywhere.
Oh yeah, that was a disaster, and people did fight, and there were fights that broke out, and there were arguments that broke out, and you know, so many. I mean, it's happened to me probably like 3 or 4 times when at the stores they started putting the tape for 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. And then there's people walking in that you could tell that they weren't trying to pull a fast one on me. It's just they're so not used to seeing the distance that they didn't realize there was a line.
Yeah.
And like people just cut in front. Oh. You know? Yeah, but not, you know, and it's like the first time it happened, I was like, you know, whatever. They only have like 2 things. I really don't care. And I wasn't. Then the second time I was like, excuse me, sir, there's like 5 people behind
There's
me.
There's a clearly marked line on the floor.
And he was like, no, but that guy was like, oh my gosh. He's like, I did not see that at all. And I was like, I know, it's new. It's new to everyone. Don't worry about it. But you got to get to the back of the line on the other side.
What about the whole like one way down the aisle at the grocery store?
I think it's hilarious because nobody honors it. Nobody. I think it's the funniest thing. Or the cheaters. The cheaters are the ones that are like, okay, I can't go this direction, but if I leave my cart, I can go in the opposite direction. It's my cart that can't go in the opposite direction. So I see people just leaving their cart on the side and sprinting the opposite way to quickly grab it and come back. And they're like, I didn't do anything wrong because my cart was here the whole time.
And there's like,
oh my God.
You know, there's like no aisle police, right? Like no one's policing that. I was not paying attention and I went down the wrong way on an empty aisle. And I was like, oh my God, I just was the person that I was complaining about 5 minutes earlier, like literally 5 minutes earlier.
But there's certain things that, you know, we have to always remember that collectively we're getting used to these things. So it's not always that somebody's trying to do something wrong. I mean, it's a lot of times, I mean, you know, there's like that one guy that I just told you about, like, I could tell that he was very sincere. Like he was very genuine. And he was very like, dude, this is crazy. Like he looked at me and he's like, this is crazy. He's like,
It's going to be a summer of fights. I just feel like everyone's going to be out there looking for a fight, getting into a fight. Just like this country is going to explode this summer.
Yeah, that's why.
That's just like I'm just cautious. Like my butt is clenched. I'm just like, oh, please, I want to be a riot somewhere or terrible.
Well, you know, I don't know if it'll go as far as, you know, rioting or anything like that, but
I don't know if I'm just. I don't know if I am. I know that I'm. I don't know if it's because of the work that I do, or what. But there's a history of this country, like setting itself on fire in the summers, usually around like in bad moments. And like going into summer, the days are longer. People have been stuck at home. They've been told, you know, what to do and not to do, and it's a recipe for a combustion. And so I just hope nothing terrible happens.
Yeah, because you know what we need? We need a little bit of good news. We need something that says, hey, listen, all right, we're heading in the right direction. You know, everything's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get out of this okay. But I don't think we've gotten that. So I think people are just like now with like, oh, you're taking away my rights. You know, this isn't freedom. You're controlling us, and it's like, oof, like it's there's a lot of like really extreme opinions out there that do worry me, and I do worry about like, I do worry about fights and stuff like that happening. Mm-hmm. And I hope I don't eat. Number one, I hope I don't get caught in the middle of one, like innocent bystander style, like because I am not going to try and keep the peace.
You're out there like you're singing your song on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh man, one time we were playing it was at the bar. It was at the bar when we would still play inside, indoors, and a fight broke out right in front of us.
And you guys used to play in the front, right? Like right by the entrance.
Right by the entrance. Like you walk in and you run
on the right-hand side.
Yeah. So and a fight broke out right in front of us. The guy knocked him to the ground and we stopped playing. And I remember my brother-in-law, who was the bass player at the time, like he did this motion like he was gonna like try and separate it or step in. I don't remember what his intentions were. And I just I said that this is not what we're here for. We're not. They have people for that here. We're just wait it out. Let's see what happens. Let them beat the shit out of each other. This is not our fight. Just we're here. We're the entertainment. We're here to fulfill a job. When this is done, we'll continue. and we had to wait. Like, other bouncers came or whatever. Dan, the guy that used to be he came.
Dan.
And Dan. So he came and separated, and it was all, and then we just kept going. And that was the only time. That was the only time we've ever witnessed.
What were you playing?
What was I playing at the moment?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say Santeria.
Yeah, no. And so that's, thankfully, knock on wood, that's the only bad moment we've ever had. I've never had like anybody like mess with me or anything like that. It's always been cool, thankfully.
That's good.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. I hope that nothing that like that breaks out, and everything will be smooth somewhat, and we'll get some good news soon. It's just, the bottom line is, hopefully people will be courteous of other people's anxiety and other people's health anxiety, and will follow the codes and follow the protocols, not because anybody's robbing you of your rights, but because it's the kind, nice thing to do. Right. So I hope, people will do that. And we have to, every individual is responsible for deciding and assessing how much risk they're willing to tolerate. And
like your risk taking really, I hope, doesn't splash on me. Like there needs to be a 6-foot splash zone. So make sure that your wrist doesn't like that area, right?
Yeah, well, that's a great point, because that's another thing. It's just like the face mask concept. Like, you can take risks. It doesn't mean that, you take the risk and impose it on other people. You just keep your risks to yourself, So we'll see, man. Only time will tell. All I know is I'm going to be asking people. I'm going to be the guy asking, hey, so is hug? No? Elbow? High five? Combination? Nothing? Wave?
I think like
wave? Thumbs up.
Honest. My guess is that I'm going to very likely go back to like all of that, like hugging, kissing, hand tapping. But I'm going to be making damn sure that like I'm washing my hands the way you're supposed to.
Right.
Like doing the way, all the things that we know what to do, like keeping my little hand sanitizer, like, okay? Yep. And then like, if more people have come into the situation, or there's been more like, oh, gotta go, do not touch. Don't be like, licking my finger. I'm like, and luckily I don't I'm not like, there's not a lot of sharing and passing around of things in my life the way there was in my 20s. So
right.
Like, all of like my mouth stays on like me and my people.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, I think that people will be comfortable with that sooner rather than later. I agree with you 100%. I think all of this is going to go out the window. People are going to go back out and they're going to be like, fuck this, give me a hug, like, And I think that's,
I don't have a problem with that. I don't.
Me either.
I don't. There's a group of people that I have in my head that have been very vocal on social media against all of this, right?
Right.
And I haven't asked them because I haven't wanted to have the debate yet. But I wonder if they're just so stuck in their politics and the side that they're on and what their side is saying for us to do, which is basically like, don't listen to the current administration because they're fucking idiots. And then, or do they really, really believe that this is the only way of like battling this, this issue? I don't know. I'm more complex than uni-sided politically and letting that make every single fucking decision for me.
Right.
And I imagine that most of us are like that.
Yeah, I imagine that too.
And so I'm not letting anybody decide for me.
No.
But I do believe, it's like, you all the information's out there, read up on it, and make your decisions.
I'm going to ask if I can hug you when I see you.
You can hug me.
I'll be like, hey, can we? I'm sorry. I find it so humorous. I love this thing that of like the awkward, like, are we, no, yes, handshake, no?
I mean, elbow? I would just be like, do you want me to take my clothes off so that you can hug my body?
It's like, dude, we've already seen all that.
Yeah, but now you can see it in real life. It's 3-dimensional.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Touch this skin. Touch all this skin. That's a direct line from Paris is Burning
Oh, really?
for our non-gay listeners.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great.
I agree.
I like this. Where can they find us?
You can find us. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on Stitcher. If you kind of decide where you want to listen to us, go to moacamedia.com and choose there, because you'll find links to everything and everywhere at that website. On Instagram, at MOACA Media, you put out fire stuff. I just keep tagging my naked body, so you can look at that there too. Just go to the little tag function and you can see my entire feed. It's there. And if you want to add to my followers on Instagram, I am at Jorge Sanchez. Please do that.
All right. Wow, we're so streamlined. We have so many ways to have access to us. I love our website. I'm a big fan. And I am at carlos.escanilla and or at Carlos305 Music for all my music stuff. And I am going to follow George's lead, and I'm going to start tagging MOACA Media on my stuff, because I've been missing the boat on that. And like that, it could be Naked George and some posts of motivation.
You're doing
and
like
music.
The mental health motivation, creative motivation. Mine is like body positive imagery.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to get you to take your shirt off.
All right. That might happen once I get my nutrition back in order. It'll happen by December for sure.
Summer is here.
I know, man. Oh gosh. So, all right. Well,
all right,
guys.
sir. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.